And now to the latest on COVID-19 in this country. Travel into Canada has been severely restricted for weeks now, but even so, more than 200,000 international travelers have arrived in this country since March 23rd when borders were tightened. So are international travelers still contributing to the spread of COVID-19? For more on that, we're joined by Dr. Christopher Modi. He's the head of Department of Microbiology, Immunology and Infectious Diseases at the University of Calgary. So Dr. Modi, 270,000 international travelers, that figure is way down from where it would be under normal circumstances, but that's still a lot of people. What concerns do you have about the volume of people still coming to Canada?
Hi, Andrew. Thank you for asking. So 200,000 people sounds like a lot, but really it's about 1% of what the normal travel would be. So that's a major reduction. And I think that it's reasonable to continue to allow essential travel. And so if you look at essential travel and 200,000 people, that sounds about right to me, and includes the people that are being repatriated to Canada. So I think it's a reasonable number. Is it a number that is concerning and contributing to the current number of cases in Canada? So the answer is, if you look all the way back to March, less than 15% of cases in Canada are now due to travel as opposed to community spread. And so, and that's becoming less and less as we move on through the pandemic. And so it looks like the quarantining procedures of 14 days are being effective, and that it's not a major contributor to the number of cases in Canada anymore. It was initially while we were repatriating at the start of the pandemic, but not so much now.
Now, a lot of these travelers are arriving in Toronto and Montreal, which are hotspots for the virus. Could the arrivals, do you think, be contributing to the number of cases we're seeing in these cities?
Well, I think that they are. I mean, the numbers, as I've mentioned before, basically speak to themselves. I think the concern about, so if somebody comes to Canada, returns to Canada, and then quarantines for 14 days, they're going to contribute very little to the overall number of cases that are there. But the concern is, when you get off a plane, you still have to get to the location where you're going to quarantine. And so there is, contact in the baggage area, there's contact during travel home, all of those sorts of things. And so people need to be very careful about that and take all of the precautions that we've mentioned so frequently in terms of public health.
Now, in your view, though, are the procedures that are in place now for traveling, I mean, I haven't been to an airport in a long time. I don't think very many Canadians have been to an airport in a very long time, months. Are they strong enough to stop the spread from travelers, especially as things start to open up more?
Yes, so I think that they are, and basically the statistics speak to that. So, we need to continue to get the message out, continue to impress on people that travel is a risk, and it's a risk not only from traveling from the airport to the site of quarantine, but there's risk on the airplane as well, and we can talk about that. But that's basically where the risk is. But the numbers are suggesting it's not a major contributor currently. Now, as we start to open things up, that may change, but we need to be very careful.
And what about travel within Canada? We're coming up on the busy summer season where people will want to go to the cottage or go camping. What are the dangers you see ahead from people traveling within the country? Maybe not on an airplane, but...
Yeah, so I think it's really more, and I think that many provinces, ministers of health and chief medical officers have cautioned people that when they travel to the cottage or wherever, stock up before you go, buy your groceries there, buy your fuel before you go, and then minimize the number of times that you have to stop because that increases contact with people or with physical things in the environment. So, and then when you get to the cottage, if there's anybody there that isn't from your immediate cohort, then what you need to do is maintain physical distancing and take the precautions that way, and then return under the same circumstances to your home. If you could do that, went to the cottage by yourself and bought everything in your your home, there's no contact with anyone, and so there's no risk of doing that, basically. So there's no mechanism by which the virus could be transmitted. The risk is en route, and then when you get there, increasing your social circle while you're at the cottage or at other recreational activities.
Dr. Modi, appreciate your time. Thank you. That was Dr. Christopher Modi. He's the head of the Department of Microbiology, Immunology, and Infectious Diseases at the University of Calgary.